Welcome to the F3 Knoxville family of podcasts. Hello and welcome to Picking Up the SIX, F3 Knoxville's weekly podcast, taking a look at 6 terms from the F3 Lexicon and Excion, that's Lingo and exercises, to get a little bit more knowledge about the Gloom and what we're doing in there, and hopefully getting some new information or relearning some old information. So let's get started. All right, so this week we'll be having 3 terms from the Lexicon, 3 terms from the, well, actually there's a surprise 4th term from the Excion. So 3 terms that get used a lot, some lingo, and then 3 exercises or routines from the Excion. So let's get started with the first one being Q. So Q, there really is some debate of where the term Q comes from. I did some deep dive here because in Free to Lead and on the Lexicon webpage, it really just means the leader of any given workout, F3 workout. Obviously, in the last few years, the term Q has taken on a new meaning in the internet age with QAnon, and I really find that to be the first thing that troubles some guys when I talk about F3. And I have to assure them that it has nothing to do with QAnon. But Q comes from, I like to think of it, and this is completely unsubstantiated from anyone from the F3 Nation or in F3 Charlotte where it started. I think it goes back to the Campos days, which is the workout group that spawned F3. But, you know, I like to think of Q as the quartermaster. It's a term used in the Army. I don't know, you guys that are veterans or are actively serving can hit me up if I'm wrong about this, but it's kind of like the one that keeps the arms, I believe. So the Q is the person that has all of the equipment and arms, much like Q in James Bond. So I like to think of the Q of an F3 workout as a quartermaster who keeps all the exercises going and plans the workout. The next term is the POAS. And the POAS is the group of men at a given F3 workout. It's awesome that POAS also means peace in Latin. And so, just the group of guys together is the POAS. I also don't know the origin of this term either. Free to Lead just has the group of guys that are there. So you can see a lot of times people call the POAS that were there in their back blasts. And the group of F3 as a region, as an AO, calling them the POAS. The third term for today is emotional headlock, or EH, and this term gets thrown around a lot when you're talking about bringing new guys in and throwing that emotional headlock down and really kind of getting in someone's ear of coming out and posting with in an F3 workout. EHs can take a day, a week, a month, 6 months in my case, or years. I've been doing F3 now for over a year, and I have been EHing some guys for that entire time. So emotional headlock, trying to get them in that headlock, working with, you need to come out and not only get fit with us, but find a group of guys. So emotional headlock is the third term. Moving over to the Excion, some exercises and routines that we have. So I'm going to start with an exercise here, and that is the Bodybuilder Plus. This morning at the Asylum, I introduced some of those guys to the Bodybuilder Plus. It is a burpee and then some. So the Bodybuilder Plus, you get down, or starting in a stand-up position, you get down into plank like you would a burpee, do a merkin, do shoulder taps, do a plank jack, and then do toe touches, and then back up as one. So Bodybuilder Plus, I like those. For some reason, I actually like them better than burpees. you get a little break when you're down there doing the shoulder taps, the plank jacks, and the toe touches. So Bodybuilder Pluses, we used those this morning as the home run on Ghostman Baseball at the Asylum. Next is going to be Pearls on a String. And this is a little bit of a routine where it's what I like to use to describe most F3 workouts to guys that I am emotionally headlocking. And that's where, you've got the pearls, which is the exercise routines that you do. It could be in a circle of pain, and that is our bonus Excion today. So a circle of pain is where the packs circle up with the cue either in the middle or part of the circle, and they do a set of exercises or routine. So the circle of pain is the pearl, and then the string is where you connect different pearls with a little bit of running. And while that is typical, or it's called a typical F3 workout, really I've only experienced that about a quarter of the time. I don't do a lot of cueing with pearls on a string. I usually do some other kind of routine, but you can see the basic makeup of that. Do some exercises, do a little bit of running. Very rarely do you have just exercises or just running, unless you go to a Doubtfire cue when he tries to do some sort of fitness test, or in the case of my third post ever, let's run a mile for time. So that is pearls on a string with a little extra circle of pain on there too. The last routine that I want to talk about today in picking up the SIX is the EMOM, every minute on the minute. Now this is a great workout for those rainy days when you're stuck in a pavilion or an overhang or in a garage, and that is where you have a timer set for every minute, where you do a certain number of reps or a certain number of exercises in a minute. And the faster that you do those exercises, the more time you have to rest before that timer goes off again. And a little piece of advice, if you're ever queuing an EMOM, is there is an app that I use on my phone for it's actually developed for Power Hour. So any of you guys know what Power Hour is? That is not what I use it for. And it connects to a Spotify or Apple Music playlist, and will pick a random minute from each of the songs in your playlist, and will play a random minute of music and then have a timer count down the last 3 seconds, and then do either a buzzer or another sound effect to know to switch. So every minute on the minute, good for those rainy day cues, as well as interspersed during any other kind of workout.
All right, everybody, I got some late breaking news here for picking up the SIX this Wednesday, March 9th. Apparently, I should have finished reading Free to Lead before adding in some of these terms, because earlier I mentioned that there was some debate on the term cue and where it came from, and I got that idea from one of the F3 Nation podcasts where they discussed it. Well, just so happens that on page 108 of Free to Lead, which I am currently reading in the lobby of the orthodontist with one of my children, Dredd and OBT give the exact origin of the term cue, which comes from crusader, which is crusader starting with a Q, that came from that Campos workout in Charlotte. So it turned into the Crusader in Charge. Now that's Crusader starting with a Q instead of a C. And I guess that they called those members of the Campos workouts Crusaders with a Q, I guess. It's hard to say. It's easier to read in print, I guess. So as the F3 broke off from the Campos in Charlotte, they kept that term Q as the QIC, or Q in Charge, Crusader in Charge, and you get that from the Army, where the officer responsible for the outcome of a given mission was designed as the OIC, or Officer in Charge. So that's the more definite definition of Q for F3. Now, I still like my little bit of interpretation of the quartermaster, but things evolve over time. So we use the Q term as the leader of the workout.
it. That was picking up the six for this week. If you have any terms that you want discussed on the podcast, just hit me up on Slack or on Twitter at F3_Blindside. If you'd like to come on any of our podcasts, all you have to do is hit me up in those same places, and we could do a random co-host. Looking for anybody that wants to join me. And I will see you again here on Friday for Mumble Chatter.
As always, this is Davis Bodie, 34 Blindside. Thank you for listening to this F3 Knoxville podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review in your favorite podcast app to help us grow the show. And share this with any sad clown in your life that might need a little F3 to get them going.